welcome to Film Freaks. This is Justin Llewellyn.
And Eddie Williams.
And we are doing an audio discussion of Black Panther, which is directed by Ryan Coogler and stars Chadwick Boseman, Michael B. Jordan, Lupita Nyong'o, Denai Guanera, I believe.
I believe that's Michonne, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's the girl who played Michonne from Walking Dead.
Forrest Whitaker,
Andy Serkis,
and the dude from Get Out,
Daniel Kaluuya.
Yeah.
And Martin Freeman and Andy Serkis. And this is the story about, this is another film set in the Marvel Cinematic Universe where we feature the character of Black Panther, also known as T'Challa, who's portrayed by Chadwick Boseman. And this takes place after Civil War, with his first appearance taking place in there, where we have him returning
after his dad's
death
from the movie.
First film.
Yeah.
And he returns to his homeworld of Wakanda.
Yeah. To take his rightful place as king.
Wakanda.
Because his dad died, he takes his rightful place as king.
Yeah.
But then you have, as you can tell in the trailers, Michael B. Jordan playing pretty much a powerful enemy is trying to take over his realm.
Yeah.
Take his realm from him.
Yeah, and then you also got some things going on with Andy Serkis' character, who, if you remember, he was the same villain from, he was one of the villains in Avengers Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
And this film deals with T'Challa having to regain himself and protect his homeworld from evil as well. Now, here's some backstory. As you know, this has been an ongoing franchise of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
What's this number?
I think this is 17, because next film will be 18. So this is the 17th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Which I like to praise Marvel. Congratulations on you guys continuing to do good.
Yeah, they've been doing excellent with almost all their films, especially with the Iron Man. We'll start out with the Iron Man movies. At least a couple of them, and all the ones that have been really good, especially with the Captain America films, the Thor movies, and all them. They've all have like their highlights. I can never say there's ever been a bad one, to be honest.
Yeah.
There's been some not really great ones, but there's been a lot of them have been good.
Overall, they've done good.
Yeah. And with this one, I wasn't really the most hype, because I'll admit that when I first watched Civil War, I really enjoyed the character of Black Panther. I mean, even though it was his first appearance and all.
I'm going to say that out of all the Marvel superheroes, he's the one I at least know about, because I really never read much about him. I just saw him pop up every now and then. But it was cool that they kind of made the character a big deal in this. And going in this film, this was also not my most hype either. So.
Yeah, well, I think that's also the thing nowadays, is that it seems like when we get the solo films that kind of out with their characters
of low budget,
of comic book characters that are lesser known.
Yeah.
It seems to me that at least in the Marvel films, they always kind of start out kind of low end, and then they kind of like Ant-Man and Thor and all them to kind of build their way up.
Yeah.
So with this one, I wasn't the most hype with, because it just seemed like it was just going to be a fun Marvel film.
Yeah.
But
sure enough, it was. It was an entertainment film. I wouldn't necessarily by any means say it's the best at all, but it was a fun film. It's a fun film, and it's good. It's just not the best.
Right, it's not the best, but it's certainly, as far as if we're dealing with solo films, I'll say that I like it better than, say, Ant-Man and maybe the first Thor, but it's still not as great as, say, something like Captain America: The First Avenger or something like that.
Yeah, or the Winter Soldier or Civil War, or any of the Guardian Galaxies or any of them, or just stuff like that. It's just it's kind of probably out of 18, 17, I don't know. I'd say it'd be in the middle out of 18 films, more 10th place or 9th place or whatever, or 11th.
But I can honestly say it was good, but it's definitely not as great. But here's to get my pros out of the way. So once again, Chadwick Boseman was wonderful in this. The performances were all in this and great, including Chadwick Boseman. I'm glad to see that he's getting more attention, because ever since I saw him in Captain America: Civil War, I think that he's really
he is Black Panther.
He is Black Panther, and he really shines in this, especially when we start to deal with the ways that his character is having to grow as the king in his land and everything, and the way that he's also learning to uncover more about some stuff going on about his past and stuff like that.
Yeah, in his past where his father was killed. You see the emotions he's going through and all that. I also really, I agree with him and Chadwick. Like I said, he's the best. He is Black Panther.
Yeah.
I did like all the other casts, like Michonne from Walking Dead, getting her first major box office movie role.
Yeah.
And I thought she was magnificent. I thought all the ladies who play the supporters of the Black Panther who follow him, the tribes ladies, they were really great.
Yeah. Especially, well, because it's funny because the girl who played Michonne from Walking Dead,
I find her really underrated. I think she's got a really good talent.
Yeah, I do too. But also, it's funny because in this one, she's also using a melee weapon like she did in Walking Dead. Yeah. Only instead of a sword, she's using a spear.
Yeah.
So,
and I love the visuals. Visuals were beautiful. Oh, let me go back to the acting again. Andy Serkis really brought a lot of funny comedy to this.
Yeah. Playing the kind of the other supporting villain in this. He was great, especially a lot of the banter back and forth between his friend, his enemy, his other guys he's talking to. Yeah. And then also the scene, one of my favorite scenes is the part where him and Martin Freeman, who plays the American CIA agent who you saw in Civil War.
Yeah.
They have basically, if you ever seen The Hobbit, it was almost like a reunion of Gollum and Bilbo together.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh wow, seeing them two back, because the way that he's kind of like screwing with them in that scene was really funny.
Yeah, I did enjoy that. Like I said, the visuals were beautiful.
Oh yeah,
I will say the 3D was not too bad.
It wasn't too bad. Yeah,
it just didn't have enough though.
Yeah, I do like the look of the way Wakanda looks in this because you can tell that, because I'm not gonna go into detail, but it kind of get from you seeing the trailers, it looks a lot like kind of like, you know, futuristic kind of look to it, because it's basically from the outside it's kind of a, you know, kind of a third world looking country, but on the inside of it, it looks more like a future kind of like futuristic, futuristic setting.
Yeah, like it's like set into like 2200. Like I really love the history of like where that they're explaining the medallion, the metal,
the Vidarian, or the what's it called? I'm trying to remember. It's basically what gives them power.
Yeah, it's like this, like kind of like a
meteor.
Yeah, that hit and all that stuff, and yeah, that was pretty cool. Like I said, the visuals. I love how they displayed this place in Africa. I love their accents. It was beautiful. I love their accents. I actually really thought the sister of Chadwick's character, the Black Panther, I thought his sister was pretty attractive.
Yeah, she was. Yeah. And also, it was good that they gave her a role, too, because she's basically playing... If this was a James Bond movie, she would definitely be Q, like the gadget person. Because she makes all the technology and stuff. Yeah. So I like that about her character. And to get some other things, too, I especially... One of the biggest standouts for me is I really got to give credit to Michael B. Jordan. Yeah. I thought that he was a great villain. It's good to see that Marvel is doing a lot better with their villains lately, because I noticed that when they first started out, a lot of their early villains were kind of starting very kind of just, you know...
For the 98% part, I thought Michael B. Jordan was a great villain in this. There was just a couple lines he said that was like...
kind of cringy,
Cringy, but overall, he was a great overall villain. Yes, he was.
Killmonger, that's his character's name. He's definitely... I really like his purpose in this, too, because I won't go into... We'll have a separate spoiler discussion that we'll go into detail with, but I really am glad to see that they're putting more depth with their villains in these films, because you actually get a lot of actually good sympathetic kind of role like you in this for his villain, that for his character that I really enjoyed.
Yeah. So other than that, if I had to have any cons,
no, I will also say that for some other pros, gotta say the action scenes were great too.
Scenes were
especially
great.
That part
visual effects where he's like flying over the place and everything's like exploding, just flying over. Man, talk about some great fighting visual effects.
And not just that, but that, and you also have the fight scenes like where they're in the city and they're having to do that, and then you also have like some of the score was pretty interesting too, because it sounded, in a way, we'll do this in our spoiler discussion, but in a way, the score kind of reminded me of The Lion King.
The story, we'll go into more details so we can talk more on the spoiler. So if you want to like listen to really good detail, check out our spoiler. Now, as far I agree with him on all the pros. Now, as far as cons, what really avoids this film getting an A for me is the pacing really hurts it in the first 30 minutes.
Yeah.
This movie is a very slow burner at the beginning.
Yeah, it definitely does have some pacing issues here and there at the beginning of it because but then again, that's very common with a lot of these like solo films that kind of start out.
Yeah.
Like that was kind of what my problem was with like the first Thor film was that the pacing kind of took a while to pick things up to kind of get things going. So I felt like that did kind of drag for me, at least at the beginning. But when it started to get picked up, it started to get better for me.
Yeah, it got better. But as like on the overall entertainment, I don't think it's worth the A grade.
Yeah.
But overall, you know that other than a couple cringy lines from Michael B. Jordan, and then the big pacing issue I had with the first 30 minutes, there's some really some pretty sad parts that happen in this film that were really good, but I don't have really much to say. If you want to go see more detail in our spoiler, we'll go into more better detail. But overall, I'm gonna give this a B-rated compelling score on our Film Freaks meter.
Fair enough. Well, as far as my other cons that I had, I'll say that, and this kind of goes back to more of just the overall franchise itself. It seems like they kind of took some familiar territory, like you kind of seen these other Marvel films where. You basically know how the formula is going to turn out, so to speak. Because when they do these type of solo films, you're not really getting much like anything different, so to speak, than how you would see in like these other solo type movies.
Yeah.
So I think that's also kind of draws a line back with me because I kind of knew how the movie was kind of going to play out. Yeah. Now, there were some surprising moments here and there that I really enjoyed that really kept me from... keep like that really kept me going. Mm-hmm. But I'll say that as far as for at this point now, because you can kind of predict from a lot with these movies, from the way that they're building these kind of like unknown superheroes in these movies and stuff, you kind of really know how they're going to play out. So that did kind of draw me back for a little bit. Yeah. But overall, besides that and the pacing, that was really my only that was really my only issues. Other than that, I still highly enjoyed the film, and with that. Too. I'm going to go with, on the Film Freaks meter, I'm going to give this a compelling grade.
Yep. Which is a B. Yep.
Yeah. So, for those of you who have also seen Black Panther, let us know what you guys thought about it in the comments below. And if you've also read the comics, we'd definitely like to hear your thoughts on it. And be sure to check in. We'll be having a spoiler discussion coming up that we'll go into more detail with. And if you like what you see here, you can feel free to like and subscribe to our channel. And check out some of our other reviews here and on our website at filmfreaks.com. And we'll be seeing you in our next review.
Later.
We'll see you later.